Let's dive into one of the quietest, but maybe one of the most profound mysteries of our lives. Why can't any of us remember being a baby?
Go on, give it a shot right now. Really, try to reach back into the farthest corner of your mind. What's the very first thing you can actually clearly picture?
For most of us, right, there's a wall. Before you're about 3, maybe 4 years old, it's just nothing. It's a really strange feeling, isn't it? Knowing that a whole part of your story is just blank. But it turns out there's a very good reason for it.
Yeah, there's actually a name for this. It's called childhood amnesia, and the most important word there is natural. This isn't some kind of glitch in your system, it's a feature. It's something that happens to pretty much every single person on the planet.
So don't worry, your brain isn't broken. It was just operating under a totally different set of rules back then. Think of this as a quick revision guide. We're going to break it down into 3 main sections to really get what was going on in that tiny head of yours. Okay, first up, your brain was, for all intents and purposes, a massive construction site.
Your brain was working incredibly hard, but it wasn't focused on keeping a diary of events. You know, the parts of the brain that create stable, long-term memories, they just weren't fully online yet. And maybe even more important, you didn't really have a clear sense of self, that central character that all your memories need to attach to.
And this really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? A baby's brain is just swamped with these mission-critical tasks. Learn to control your arms and legs, figure out which faces are safe, understand the basics of human emotion. Compared to all that, making a note of the color of the ceiling, yeah, that was way, way down on the priority list.
All right, let's move on to our second section, which builds right on top of this, the language problem. And it's not just about not being able to talk. It's about not being able to think in a way that actually creates memories.
It really boils down to this simple idea. Language is basically the scaffolding we use to build our memories. Without words, all our experiences are just this chaotic flood of feelings and sensations. Think about it like this. A raw experience is just data. But when you add language, you're not just labeling it, you're creating a little story. The big dog was loud and scary. See? That narrative is something your brain can actually file away and find again later. As a baby, you were pretty much stuck on step 1.
And that's why those first few years feel like a blur, if you can feel them at all. There was no filing system, no way to organize everything. The experiences were totally real, but they were never properly cataloged for you to pull up later.
But this brings us to our final, and honestly, maybe the most important section. Just because you don't have conscious memories of those years, does that mean they left no trace? Absolutely not. They were stored, just in a very, very different way.
You see, we have to separate out 2 kinds of memory. There's conscious memory, that's the story, the what happened, the facts. That's what's missing. But then there's this other thing, emotional memory, the how it felt. And this isn't stored as a story. It's stored as gut feelings, automatic reactions, and these really deep-seated foundational patterns.
And this, right here, is the big takeaway. Your unremembered beginning isn't gone. Not at all. It's written into the very architecture of your personality. It's in the way you react to comfort, or to fear, or to love. It is the emotional foundation that your entire remembered life has been built on. Okay, so let's bring this all together. If we look back at our little revision guide on why you can't remember being a baby, what are the key points we absolutely need to remember?
First, your brain was under construction, and it was focused on survival, not on keeping records. Second, you didn't have the language you needed to package your experiences into storable memories. And third, and this is the most profound part, those experiences didn't just vanish. They were stored as the emotional patterns that guide you right now, today.
So, in the end, understanding childhood amnesia isn't just a cool piece of psychology trivia. It's actually a pretty powerful insight. It reminds us that our personal story is so much deeper than just the parts we can consciously remember. And maybe, just maybe, the key to understanding who you are now lies in appreciating that powerful, silent beginning that you can never quite recall.